Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday Ramp, Real Access Motivates Progress live podcast. Sorry we're a few minutes late, but with COVID in the year 2020, what else do you expect? Technical issues all around, but we are back and we are live, and do we have an amazing show for you tonight. One of my favorite places, a little hole-in-the-wall place in Rhode Island that I stumbled upon last year, and it's now one of my favorite places where they bring dream, artwork, and innovation all together, all at once. And everybody needs to tune in, listen up, and go check out this place. We are talking about the Steelyard tonight, and I have three very fine gentlemen with me tonight that are going to tell you all about it, and I just cannot wait. So welcome, guys. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Yeah,
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with... Yeah, I can't excited. Let's start with you, Howie. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do at the Steelyard, and what it's all about.
Sure. I'm the executive director of the Steelyard. I'm an artist, a fabricator, and have been working with the organization for a long time. Really, our mission at the Steelyard is to connect professional artists, makers, and the communities to the practice and education in the industrial arts. So we have welding, blacksmithing, ceramics, jewelry, iron casting, and public events that all sort of center around those industrial activities and creative activities. People come to the Steelyard with imagination and leave with sculptures. And so I'm really passionate about helping connect people to the tools and the resources they need to learn about and to practice that self-expression and community building that comes from it.
And you forgot my favorite part about the Steelyard. It's 100% fully wheelchair accessible. So everybody, no matter your ability, can go and check this place out. Because let me tell you, I'm in heaven when I'm there. I absolutely love it. And I'm not blowing smoke or anything. I mean, I was in complete awe when I first rolled in there. Adam, why don't you talk about a little bit about you and what you do for the Steelyard and what it means to you?
Yeah. So my name is Adam. I am the course coordinator at the Steelyard. And so basically my responsibilities are to oversee all the educational opportunities that happen. The Steelyard has open enrollment courses that are open to all the general public. We run courses in our different departments. So that includes ceramics, blacksmithing, welding, jewelry, foundry. And within those courses, they're sort of small courses. We run those with about 5 to 8 participants usually and one instructor. Those courses in the past have run anywhere from like a little taster class where you learn how to make a ring or learn how to make a pendant in 3 hours. You just walk away with an amazing new skill and an amazing item that you can sort of show off to your friends. They range from those 3-hour classes to longer weekend welding workshops that we have, which are pretty popular. Those are like 2-hour, 12-hour classes where you learn over the course of 2 days how to weld. Lots of folks take that class and then they walk out being able to weld amazing things from sculptures, tables. Folks have done fire pits, lots of amazing things that come out of it. We're really excited to be on this Rant podcast, especially with a lot of our initiatives lately to make the Steelyard more accessible. I think 2021 is going to be our first season of having, fully accessible to all folks of all different abilities in our different departments. So some exciting things that we've gotten include ADA accessible ceramics wheels. So those little wheels that spin around and you put the clay on it, and that's how you make your vessels. We have those now. We have one of those that's coming into place. So we're just really excited to be on here and have some folks try out all the new things that we've been doing.
It's incredible, all of the things that you do. And I'll tell you, I cannot wait to go and try out that pottery wheel because I'm excited. Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do at the Steelyard and what it means to you?
Totally. So my name is Ben Filchak. I'm the studio director at the Steelyard. So directly kind of what Adam was talking about with our open enrollment classes. residents and stuff beyond that. I kind of physically am the person in the building who's doing a lot of fixing of stuff, ordering of supplies, working with volunteers, but also a lot of the development of the building. Like we were saying before, it's super exciting that we have our ADA accessible ramp now in the studio, which before our bathrooms weren't accessible in that way. And now we have this awesome ramp that in our building that gets access to the bathrooms. But slowly but surely, we've also, added all the tools to the different departments. And what's really fun about the Steelyard is it is such a cool space to try out all of these industrial arts, whether it's fabrication for, side jobs, or if you are a fine artist, a person who's in graduate school, you can come to the Steelyard and you can draw upon all the resources that we have to, kind of get your sculpture, bring your sculpture to life in metal or ceramics. But yeah, it's a lot from my job entails a lot of the physical building and upkeep, and just I love the being aware and getting all these new kind of tools and innovations here at the Steelyard to allow accessibility in the way that we can. It's learning when you came and met in the building and just learned so much about what actually is possible here at the Steelyard, and some of the really small things we could do and some of the bigger things we could do. And it's been really fun learning all this.
Yeah, and what's so cool about the Steelyard is, I know one of the biggest things that people complain about is they don't want their house or their business or something to look so handicap accessible, as they say. They think ramps and stuff are ugly. And let me tell you, your ramps and your building is gorgeous, and it's fully accessible, and it's light up and steel and metal and design, and you can take something that's accessible and useful and make it beautiful. And you guys have absolutely done an amazing job with all of that. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite things is a big horse that you see as you drive into the Steelyard. That is just like the coolest thing. Tell us about I know you have a lot of on-site parties and projects. Tell us a little bit about that, Howie.
Yeah, some of the things that we do to raise money and sort of showcase the work that happens in the community are, we use our campus, and our campus, it's a big open yard that's also fully accessible to do events like our famous Halloween iron pour, where we have an iron furnace and we melt iron chunks until it becomes liquid, and we throw it all over the place, and we make sparks, and we make a display of fire and of the art of foundry work, by things like the giant horse was actually the Trojan horse that was part of a show we did a couple years ago, where we bring people in touch with the industrial arts face to face in a safe, in a fun way, in ways that demystify it. This stuff doesn't have to happen behind closed doors. There's plenty of people who go to work every day in foundries, and that's their daily experience. I feel like for us, we work with fire all day, every day, and once a year we play with it, and we do that with the community. And we can host,
so
our
fun.
events. Our events have between 500 to 1,000 people usually for something like that, but we make a priority for accessible seating and access to all of it. As well. And I think one other thing that I really want to build on what Ben said, we make our own stuff at the Steelyard so we can make it beautiful. We couldn't find an ADA accessible welding table on the open market, so we made one. So we, got together and figured out what needed to be done.
There's my horse. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys do incredible things, and what's so wonderful to hear that you guys do is you make accessibility and inclusion first thought instead of an afterthought, and you really want to be inclusive to everybody. And I wish more businesses would think that way in the normal day-to-day, because it's easier and more affordable to make it accessible right up front than it is to go back and have to redesign and redo at a later date. So thank you for all of that. Adam, tell us a little bit about the residency, because not only are there classes, there's also something called a residency. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the residency program is a program where artists in the community can apply to have access to our studio spaces. So we take residence in our metals program, our ceramics program, jewelry, welding. And so each year there's an application cycle where folks can sort of submit. We take folks from all different stages of their artistic career, whether that's something that they're a pretty accomplished artist or they're someone who has done art outside but not done anything in the industrial arts. We take all of that into account when they apply. So they can apply in, we have, they'll then have sort of like a monthly fee where they can then pay to use access of our studio. We also have some scholarship opportunities where folks will do a work share program where they will do volunteer work with anything that we sort of need around the yard in and get paid to do that. And so then they also will have access to the studio. We also have a micro residency program, which is what we consider a short-term residency program. So for that, instead of being there for the whole year, you can take part anywhere from a month to 3 months. It's really exciting always for us to have a new cohort of folks to come in. They bring a lot of new, fresh energy to the yard and are always like bringing new skills and new sets too.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell me, Ben, a little bit about how you guys have been navigating since March, since COVID decided to wreak havoc on our little community here. Tell us how the Steelyard has navigated and changed and went with that.
Yeah, so obviously it's not an easy thing. Looking at the Steelyard is a community space, and everything in the space in the Steelyard is meant to be shared and meant to be a kind of a communal kind of a space. So that was definitely early on big challenge, especially understanding what it really means for surface kind of areas for how COVID might live or not live on those types of things. But we did implement lots. We added to our studio safety policies just some social distancing, wearing of masks at all times in the studio space. We're blessed because we have a large studio, so there is kind of ample room and opportunity for us to be able to spread folks out, but also utilize our large ceilings and a lot of the ventilation we had. Natural ventilation that we can have in the building. It's changing definitely because wintertime is happening and our doors will be closed, but we're kind of implementing some things like hanging air filters and just thinking about class size, thinking about safety kits. So when a person takes a class currently, they're presented with a safety kit that'll have a couple pairs of masks, a pair of gloves, a pair of earplugs, sweatbands for welding helmets and things like that, which I actually really just love in general. So there's a little bit of, we were able to kind of innovate a little bit during this pandemic and kind of improve upon some of our processes and procedures too. Even with coping with something like COVID, because like I said, we're inherently a very communal space and like kind of a gathering point. So it's been hard because we all kind of miss that and it's sad, but we've been able to think about our residency and understand how that type of a group of people navigates our building. And we were able to come up with ways where, with mask policies and sanitizing and stuff that we started with residents. And then slowly we've, like Adam said, this fall, we were able to offer some classes. They were classes with less people in them, but nonetheless, people were still very excited to come and learn how to weld. It's definitely I really like what you said, Howie, about the demystification of it, because welding does kind of look like magic, but it's absolutely something you can learn in a weekend welding workshop class, which, can be a lot of fun for somebody, especially if you've never spent a lot of time kind of in a shop.
Yeah, like I said, it is such a cool space. I mean, so bright and airy, and it's just such a beautiful space. And when I got to go and see all of the things in action. I mean, people, you just need to go down and see the place, because I can talk about it all day long, and I probably can, but you actually need to go and see it, because it's something to behold. Howie, tell everybody what website or how they can get started. Like, what is the process? How do they get started in a residency or a class or a program? How does it all work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're constantly recruiting, or we have opportunities for work positions through our public projects department, where we're hiring people to collaborate, fabricate stuff. We're always looking for teachers. We're always looking for volunteers to help out around the studio. And of course, there's opportunities to, learn something new and take a course or teach a course, like I said. All that information is on our website. It's www.thesteelyard.org. You can probably see it at the bottom of the screen, and there's information there. There's a lot of information there, of course. But I would start by going to the education page and go to courses, or click through and let your curiosity drive you. There's a lot of great pictures. There's a lot of great information there about different things that are happening. And like I said, it's people of any level can come down to the Steelyard and find a way to get involved. You can take a weekend welding workshop and then come back and access that same equipment and rent it by the hour, use it during monitored studio time, so you can continue to practice. We don't expect everyone to go out and buy their own ceramics wheel after trying ours, or get their own kiln or jewelry studio. We're a community space that, we want to make these tools available to folks to be able to learn and then practice on as well.
Adam, tell us a little bit about the scholarships, because from what I understand, it's, you don't have to be rich or poor. Everybody has the opportunity, whether you're a beginner or a pro, to have the opportunity to try this out. So it's not off limits, or it's not too expensive. So tell everybody about that, how not only are you inclusive and accessible, but you're also economically able to help so many people take a shot at this.
Yeah. So I think touching on what you've already alluded to, the Steelyard, especially during this time of the pandemic, has been committed to economic access. I think going back to some of the things that Howie and Benna talked about, the Steelyard, we've always viewed it as, our biggest asset are the resources, are the tools, are the physical things that you can have when you come and you take a class at the Steelyard. So COVID was pretty hard for us, like shutting down and not having folks in the shop and being able to use those things. But since we've sort of reopened to the public, we've been trying to push forward, lower cost opportunities with our classes. We've been doing modular, sort of like a one-night class that's like usually $100 or less. On top of that, though, if folks need a little bit of financial assistance, we have a robust scholarship program. With those scholarships, we offer either a full scholarship or a partial scholarship. Really, the important thing on that form is the question of, how much are you able to pay, towards industrial arts education. We realize that for folks who are just starting off, it's sort of something that is new, and sort of seeing this, the price tag of that can be a little bit scary. So we want to be able to make that opportunity accessible. So right now we are actually in the process also of overhauling some of our scholarships. So folks can continue to use our general application program. But we have also started, as we start to think about access, offering flat discount scholarships for queer, trans, and BIPOC folks. We're also thinking a lot more into 2021 as we have these ADA accessible sort of new equipment. We would love to have new folks sort of come in and, have access to those, give us a lot of feedback. And that's something that we would be happy to get some new folks in and sort of make that, barrier to coming into us as low as possible.
Yeah, because it's great, because I know, when I talk about this out in the community, being totally disabled and on SSDI, you're on a very, very, very fixed, almost not livable income, but that doesn't deter you to try something new and to find new skills and to maybe find a job or find a way to make money out there doing something different, and making the world beautiful. So, so people, there's always a way to make it work. Ben, tell us a little bit about, I know you can't have them right now, but some of the gatherings that you have and what you're looking for people, or how they can donate or how they can help out. Like, how does all of that work? Because if you have scholarships, you obviously need to fundraise somehow.
Absolutely. So like during a normal year, the Steelyard hosts a lot of events that we host ourselves. So we do an annual, more or less an open studio that we like to call Fire Camp, which that is actually, I think, when we can have Fire Camp, that is a really good first event for somebody to come to at the Steelyard, just because it's a free event, but it's also a very informative event, most specifically about what we do at the Steelyard. We showcase a lot of artists and teachers using our tools and explaining what they do. But from a volunteer standpoint, it's also a great event to be able to attend as a volunteer, just because there's a lot of stuff to do, but there's also a lot of yardies at that event. Yardies being people Steelyard folks who come and either are volunteers or working, but you get to come and experience kind of our yardie culture, and really, like, as simple as being a greeter at the door to possibly helping. We do a fundraiser where we pour iron tiles into scratch mold. So what we do is we make a sand mold, and it's in the shape of a tile, and then people can buy that sand mold and they can scratch a design in. That day we pour it with molten iron, and a person's able to bring home their tile. But throughout that process, there's a whole bunch of different jobs that somebody could help us out with, any volunteer, whether that's breaking out the scratch molds, grinding them down, spraying them with graphite. So an event like like Fire Camp is a really fun, awesome event to attend, but also to, like, really get, if you're interested in volunteering, to kind of like get your feet wet quick in a way, because it's definitely a really fun, dynamic event with a lot of stuff going on. But beyond that, organizations outside of the Steelyard also host events on our campus. We're lucky we have a pretty expansive outdoor area that now have two awesome wheelchair accessible picnic tables out on the grounds, so people can come, they can have lunch. A lot of our neighbors come and walk their dogs. But yeah, there's I would say, like, some of our best ways to get involved is volunteering wise is during event season, but it's not to say there's second Saturday volunteer days that we're still keeping up with, even amongst COVID, which means every second Saturday of the month, it's a public kind of volunteer day where folks can sign up and find the dates on our website, steelyard.org, and they can show up on a Saturday. And from basically having zero knowledge of welding or industrial stuff and just wanted to, like, kind of see what it's all about and do something simple, to people who totally have fabricating experience that can immediately jump in and help weld something or build something. But that is a great second Saturday volunteer is a great way to, like, think, especially if you're interested in welding and you've never tried it and you want a way to, a little sweat equity can go a long way. You can learn a lot from a lot of people. So those are definitely, right now, I would say those are our best. Second Saturday volunteer day is a really good day.
It is. It's such a great space. It's such a unique, community-oriented, bringing people of all walks of life, all orientations, everything together for one common, beautiful goal. you guys, like I said, you're incredible, and I cannot wait to see the picnic tables. I'm looking forward to that. But Howie, tell us about some of the grants and stuff that you have recently acquired, and how all of that works in for you and how you run things.
Yeah, we are a nonprofit organization. Having just been Giving Tuesday yesterday, I'm always overwhelmed by how the community shows up to support our work with cash donations and so many other causes out there that, really we rely on public input and public infusions of funds. For sure, about half of our budget comes from donations at this point, and or for from grants. And recently we've gotten a lot of grants to help the state recover through the through COVID and the Get Outside program. We have a team of fabricators and artists right now decorating fences and tents and amenities that are going to help businesses, help restaurants use outdoor spaces that they weren't set up to use by expanding their premises in Providence. And so what we're doing is helping get money to local artists, helping get money to local fabricators to participate in that kind of project. So we're raising the money so that we can spend the money and so that we can get it back out to the community. And so that program, earns about half of the money that we bring in every year. But we're very excited. Maybe I can use this platform to announce actually that the Champlin Foundation just matched the funding that we got from RISCA last year to support $25,000 of additional accessibility upgrades at the Steelyard. So we're going to continue the efforts to make the site more accessible with that community support. That'll be more picnic tables, more equipment to accommodate people who are working at the Steelyard, who are learning at the Steelyard, and who just want to come enjoy the space and the events. And really, donations of any size make a difference at the Steelyard. I don't want the numbers to intimidate anyone. Like the smallest gift can make a big difference by just buying some masks, buying some hand sanitizer, helping us maintain the equipment. It's very expensive. We're basically running a manufacturing shop, an industrial facility. It's expensive, just like running any other factory. There's a lot of electricity. There's a lot of safety equipment that goes into it. And to be able to innovate on top of that is where our donors really make the difference. And those volunteers who show up and help us make a beautiful welding table rather than just, rolling out something that's run of the mill.
Yeah, it's like I said, it is so great. And, everybody doesn't have the monetary way to donate. You can always share the initiative. You can share the website. You can go down there and take pictures and share it on your Facebook page, because you never know who on your Facebook page would really be interested in doing something like this. People that you wouldn't even expect. I know I share certain things on my Facebook page, and it's people that I never would have expected were like, I want to check that out, or I want to do that. So if you can't monetarily donate, share. Give back. Make sure you're telling people about it. Look at how cool this is. I was at their last Halloween pour, and let me tell you, I was completely blown away of what I saw and how cool this is. And like I said, check out their ramps, check out their accessibility. It's gorgeous. They take something that's functional that you have to have, and they made it absolutely beautiful. And that's what you guys are all about. And I cannot talk more about this. Adam, give us some final words or something you want to leave everybody with knowing. Like, what do you think the most important thing that people should take away from this about the Steelyard?
So I will actually add on to some of the things that Howie and Ben were talking about. Specifically, I want to highlight right now on our Facebook page, one of our most recent things that we've sort of uploaded is our Halloween iron pour video. So this year, because of COVID, we were unable to have folks on our campus and sort of look at and see all of the amazing things that we do for our sculptures. But instead, we sort of put together as part of our annual appeal to our donors, any sort of monetary donation that you could give us, even if that was like $1, you would have access to stream our Halloween Iron Pour video ahead of time. But as part of December, just this past Giving Tuesday, we've released that to the public. So I think that's going to be a really great opportunity for folks who aren't familiar with the Steelyard. Especially with, folks having different comfort levels about going out in public during COVID, you can watch this video online and sort of get an idea of like all of the different things that we do. So that's super exciting. I also want, to reiterate that, part of our mission at the Steelyard in terms of education is that anyone can benefit from an industrial arts education, be that whether that's something where you learn and then you turn that into something that becomes a job, or it's something that, you get off of work and you're a little stressed out and you just need something to sort of blow off some steam. I think that's something that, we're really committed to at the Steelyard, and is also one of the reasons why we've, tried to push to have folks come back and take classes, in the safest way possible while during this pandemic.
That's amazing. And like I said, I cannot wait till everybody sees that video, because like I said, seeing it live was nothing. I was completely blown away, and I was so excited about this year, and unfortunately, but still it's just as cool as watching it online, but very cool. Ben, why don't you give us some things that you think are most important, or anything that we need to make sure that we mention?
Yeah, so some of the most important things I think is that the Steelyard is here, and it's here for people to help with job support. It's also here to help with learning new skills, and it makes all these kind of processes accessible to a lot of different types of people. It's a really fun thing to get into. It's a lot of each department has so many different parts to it. Like we go from blacksmithing to welding to jewelry to ceramics all in one building, not to mention our public projects department. But there's just so many levels that you can practice at here in the Steelyard, whether it's from some of the most advanced to the most entry level. And I would just want everyone and anyone who would be interested in trying a class like this to look into it, because there is definitely room for people to get scholarships to, even make that barrier a little bit less. But obviously, if you can, like it's not only fun, but it really helps support our mission and just keeps us rolling through when people are coming in, taking classes and checking us out. But definitely checking out the Halloween Iron Pour video, I think, is something that's really, really cool, because obviously it's a very fun event in person, but I feel so grateful to get to share this with everybody. You can, like you said, put it on your Facebook page, share it with your relatives, across the country, across the world. Let them know what's happening in Rhode Island. Rhode Island is a very cool state. We do a lot of stuff here, and I feel really lucky to get to work at a place like the Steelyard, just because it's one of the big centers for art, and we get to be a huge part of that in this city with a lot of talented, very cool people.
That is awesome. And you just brought up another question to me before we get to Howie. Can everyday people commission somebody to say, like, I was just talking to you guys earlier before we started this, that I would like to have some kind of fun design to my new ramp outside of my new Habitat for Humanity home. Could somebody come down and give you an idea, like, handicap picnic tables with wheelchairs for the other people kind of thing, and like commission that kind of work? Anybody jump
absolutely. In. Yeah, I'll jump in and just say, yeah, absolutely. There's a couple different ways. Most specific, our public projects department, part of their mission is they want to make something that is for the public, for stuff that everybody's going to interact in. So maybe not specifically something in your private backyard, but we can get to how you could make something like that in a moment. But so any business or any space, like, you know, whether it's out on the sidewalk at your home or something like that, Public Projects loves to get creative and innovative with different styles, different materials, hiring different artists and approaches to make really, really cool things. You'll see when you get to see the picnic tables, it's not a traditional design. It was something that Tim and Jenny in our Public Projects, they, you know, picked an artist and they did it specific because they were like, hey, like we like the way, we like your designs, we like the way you think, like give us something that's a little bit, you know, non-traditional and, you know, have some fun with it. And but we also, you know, have now developed a very cool functional piece. But to add to a way, let's say you did need a railing in your home or some ramp help in your home, things like that. We also do have a resource called Private Request, which can be accessed on the website. It's a simple form you can fill out. And what that does is that kind of puts out a description, kind of almost like a personal, like a Steelyard Craigslist in a way, where there's over, I believe it's over 200 to 300 artists that are signed up to our Private Requests email list, meaning, so Tina, you could say, hey, I have a ramp in my house and this is how big it is. This is what I was thinking it might cost. Can anybody help me design this? Can someone help me install this? And you can, you know, get that email out to all those different artists here in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and hopefully make a connection and find someone local to do some work for you.
Yeah, because I'd like to have every town, you know, apply for something and make an accessible art, something with somebody with disability, because it's art you don't see. You don't see a lot of art out there with people in wheelchairs or people, you know what I mean? That it would be so nice to have it in a park or have it somewhere where, you know, you kind of see it out there. So I challenge every community and town and city out there to reach out to you guys and make an art project so that they see that your town is accessible, that your town is being inclusive. No matter what you build, just build something and you guys make it beautiful. Howie, let us know anything that we forgot or your final thoughts, you know, of what you really feel about the Steelyard.
Yeah. My final thought is really, like everyone's already said, just the invitation. I think there's a lot of different ways to get involved. There's a lot of different ways to share the story, to get in touch with our Rhode Island heritage and our, you know, the living culture in Rhode Island. There's a lot of opportunity for us to make new things and, you know, to still innovate with clay and with jewelry and with metals and sculpture. You know, art is the thing. You know, creative expression and industry are things that can really help us craft the future, and we can design and build an inclusive future together. And we have the tools to do it. And I think that vision really, you know, is something that's coming together at the Yard. And so we're excited to be able to open our doors and offer that and invite people down. So come check it out.
I think it's so
love
cool.
the giant horse.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody needs to go and check it out. And, you know, everybody goes to these painting parties where you follow the artist. I could definitely see something like that where you guys are, you know, because it's so hands-on.
Yeah.
You know, have a jewelry party where you're making it a fundraiser, but people are learning how to make beautiful things. I never thought I could paint, and some of my paintings didn't come out half bad. Not half great, but not half bad either. You know, that it's a way of getting in there and trying your hand at something you never thought you would be good at. And like I said, I know more friends that have decided to take up painting, going to these painting parties, that if they went to a pottery party or a jewelry party, or, you know what I mean, for men, because there's not many things out there for men or women who like more bulkier things, iron pour, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And you get to try your hand at different things. Like, I see so many ways to getting people out there and getting people involved and just getting people out in the community, working together to make something beautiful. And like I said, I mean, you guys are fully ADA compliant, fully accessible, anybody of any ability can go in there. I've been in there. I've tried out, sat at all of the places, to every corner of that place. I absolutely love it. I just want people to help out. And it's thesteelyard.org. Make sure you go to their website. Make sure you're checking it out, because you will be surprised at everything that they have. And the nice part about it is the Steelyard is part of our Red Bag Initiative, and they have red bags that they will be giving out to their artists. So if they're there and they have a medical emergency or something happens, they are carrying their red bag that keeps all of their medical information on them at all times. That's non-tech based, because the Steelyard is all hands-on. It's not tech based. So this would be a perfect bag for you to have, and we will be donating some of these bags to the Steelyard so they can be giving them out to their artists, so that they will all be red bag carriers. I thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us tonight, and I really hope everybody checks out the Steelyard, because I'm not just saying this because you guys are on here. You guys know how often do I call or email you, Howie, with a new idea, or can we try this, or can we do this, or how about this? You know, I'm absolutely fascinated by everything that you guys do.
And thank you so much for the red bags. We really believe in safety first. We're going to get you some safety first Steelyard bandanas as a thank you as well. Because it's important. Make sure that we're honest about keeping everyone safe doing this good work.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the red bags is they got the little clips on them. You clip them right on your belt if you're here, there, and everywhere in the Steelyard, and God forbid something happens to somebody, you never know. You know, at least they're covered, and people know all about what's going on with them. At least the EMTs and the doctors will know what's going on with them. But give us one final thought, Adam.
We're just excited to get to be able to talk to a new audience. We are looking forward to 2021 and having new folks and bringing some fresh life into the Steelyard.
Okay, Ben, you're up. Give us your final words.
I was just going to say, it's been great getting to know you and meeting you when you came down. Obviously, you have a wonderfully infectious energy, and it was just immediately so fun to have you come in and tell us just be like, yeah, this works, this doesn't work, and we've come a long way since that initial meeting. So I am really just excited for you to come back and for everyone else to come check it out. Like Adam said, we're really looking forward to the future.
Yeah, I see some YouTube videos in our future about how we can actually make things accessible and how we can actually do some hands-on stuff. So I'm not shy at all. So I see some YouTube videos in our future as soon as we can get out and about. Howie, give us your final thoughts. What do you want to leave everybody with?
There's some great videos on our website too that sort of you can get a virtual roll through the studio and see it all for yourselves. And we're going to make 2021 a year about accessibility and connections in the community. So look forward to seeing everybody. And thank you so much, Tina.
And
this has been
and
terrific.
You definitely need to email me the pictures of the picnic table, because I definitely want to see those. I heard about them. I haven't seen them yet. But I just definitely encourage everybody, go down and take a look. Go down and check it out. They are COVID compliant. They are mask wearing. It is a huge space. Go down and check it out. Check out their websites. Share. And if you can, open your wallet and donate, because they do all of this incredible stuff, and they have people that getting people off the streets and doing something beautiful and making our streets beautiful is what we want to do. So get out, share, and donate to the Steelyard. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I am so glad to have you guys on tonight, and I will be in touch and talking to you guys soon. Happy holidays and have a great night. Bye, everybody.